Hello and welcome back to another episode of White Album 2. We are playing through the closing chapter of the game. So we last left off, we were taking out Chiori, back to our apartment, and we were about to make her dinner, and we just got over the thing with Koharu. Let's see how it unfolds from here. There's a lot that's left unexplained, but Izumi does look proud of a job well done. That's for sure.
いや、カレーにしようかと。それなら作れるし。
Not to mention, she's also lifted off a huge burden that's been weighing on my heart.
おー、やったー！さすがは親友。しょっぱなから私の好物引き当てたね。
そもそも泉に苦手があることを想定してないから。
She's never been a picky eater at the cafeteria either, a fact that's even more apparent whenever I'm the one paying.
さあ、じゃあ行こうか。確か春樹のマンション西口の方だよね。
その、泉。悪かったな。嫌なプライベートに付き合わせて。
I mean, to be fair, she kind of dragged herself into it.
いいってば。春樹、私だから任せてくれたんだよね。
そうなのかな。
That's true. It actually shows a bit of progress from Haruki, coming to trust someone that is. That's how it ended up, that's for sure. But now that I think about it, the description of an odd person who willingly tries to get involved with others, issues like a weirdo, appears to be valid for all parties involved today.
そんなことよりも早く帰ろう。私もカレー手伝うから。せかしたり味見したりおかわりしたり。
That Chiaki. Although homemade curry sounds amazing.
もうちょっと手伝うという言葉にふさわしい行動をとってくれ。
Despite everything, the steps I'm taking today feel much lighter than last week's as I begin my short walk back to my apartment. And Izumi's walking by my side as if it's the most natural thing in the world.
Ah, 思った通り片付いてるね。
ならそのイメージを保つために協力しろ。要するに散らかすな。
In the end, step by step, I brought Izumi up to my place. On top of that, I'm now slaving away at these potatoes, carrots, and onions, and putting them in a pot to cook for this surprise guest of mine.
掃除も行き届いてるし、これじゃあ長い髪の毛とか見つかんないかな。
お願いだから、想像した通りのリアクションをするのはやめてくれ。
Come to think of it, when was the last time I had a girl over? To begin with, the only women who've ever been in here are Io, this woman in front of me, and it makes 3 in total.
あ、アルバム見せて、アルバム。どこにしまってあるかな。
そういう恥かきアイテムは全部実家に隠匿。
Needless to say, my mother, who lives a mere 10 minutes away, isn't included in those aforementioned 3.
つまんない。
安心しろ。夕食が終わったらもっとつまらない時間の幕開けっていきなり寝るな。暇なら手伝えよ。
でもさ、人の家のキッチンって使いにくくない？
人の家のベッドもぜひ使いにくく思ってほしいものだけどな。
To be fair, it doesn't look like Haruki has a sofa or anything. I don't even see any cushions by the table to sit down on.
ああ、そっちは平気。私枕変わっても全然気にならないんだよね。
Considering how comfortable she looked sleeping on the cold floor of the lab, a pillow alone shouldn't make much of a difference.
前から言いたかったんだけどな、泉。お前、生活能力ないだろ。
そうなんだよね。卒業したら誰か囲ってくれないかな。
いや、あのな。
My favorite signature mood, lecturing, which I haven't used in quite a while, is completely ineffective against Izumi, who seems to live out her days freely and without care.
ねえねえハルキ、あんた私のパトロンにならない？将来有望だよ。
そのお前の有望な将来ってのはせめて大学は卒業してるんだよな。
お、ギターめっけ。
自分で振った話をいきなり投げ捨てるな。
Is this happy-go-lucky woman really going to be alright? At this rate, I can't see her changing her easygoing lifestyle even after graduation. Well, before all that, we should focus on whether or not she'll actually graduate.
なあ泉、お前万が一大学を卒業することができたらって人の話を聞けよ。
ねえねえ、後で弾いてみてよ。ギター弾いてるハルキ見てみたい。
お前何のためにここに来たのか忘れてるだろ。
ちょっとだけだって。わかった、真面目にレポートやるから、その代わり終わったらご褒美に弾いて。
やめたんだギター。
Well, it's still one of the only pieces of furnishings in your apartment.
もったいない。
別にもともと大してうまくなかったし、だから何の未練もなかった。
そうなの？そうなんだ。
That's right. Not attached at all. I might have practiced very hard. I might have been very dedicated, but I can't play anymore. Because it's not fun. Because it doesn't make me happy. Because I don't want to remember.
孤独なふりをしてるのなぜだろう。お？どうしたのハルキ？
Her voice is really pretty. Oh, but poor Haruki. I cut my finger. Rather deeply, actually.
その歌
But the word that escaped my mouth had nothing to do with that insignificant fact.
ああ、届かない恋？ほら、先週から大学のミニ FM で毎日流れてるじゃん。
My finger is stained in a deep crimson, and yet I feel no pain.
1年の冬の時に初めて聞いてさ、一発でハマったんだよね。
そうなんだ。
Because there's another fierce pain spreading throughout my chest.
ボーカルも曲も好きだけどさ、特に歌詞が気に入っちゃって。決してうまいわけじゃないけど、なんか来てね。
Yeah, I wonder who wrote it. I wonder who wrote that song.
ふん。
だからフルコーラス歌えるよ、私。
I rinse my finger with some cold water, washing away the blood. And after licking my wound, the taste of blood slowly spreads in my mouth.
ねえねえ、そういえばハルキって付属からの持ち上がりだったよね。
そうだけど。
Was my blood always this bitter?
じゃあさ、実はこの歌リアルタイムで聴いてたりして。確かこれって3年前の付属祭でたった一度だけ。
多分聞いてないと思う。
そうなんだ。
ああ、勉強ばっかでイベントとか興味なかったし。
Oh. Got him. Why would he? I can't imagine Haruki keeping something like that in his apartment as he is now. Why would he do that?
あ、ちょっと待って姉ちゃん。今週のビッグスピリチュアル読んでなかった。
また寄り道？もうお父さんたちきっとついちゃってるよ。
いいじゃん、ちょっとくらい。追っかけてる連載2つだけだからさ。5分。
もう
姉ちゃんもほら、なんか読んでなよ。別冊リリアンの今月号出てるし。
大学入ってから読んでないよ、漫画なんて。
ほんと進学してから若さがなくなったよな。勉強が忙しいのか知らないけどさ、毎日暗い顔ばっかでさ。
Aw, he's such a good brother. He's able to notice something like that and actually bring it up.
高弘はまだまだ若さを保てそうでよかったね。推薦落ちたんだって。
しかもデリカシーもないなんて。そんなんで北原先輩に振られても知らないぞ。
Oof.
うまくいってるよ。外野が余計なこと言わないでよ。
Ooh, so awkward. How has she been keeping up this lie for how long has it been? 2 years since they've been speaking? That's crazy.
激鱗？
知らない。私に高弘って弟なんかいない。
ああ、いや、ごめん。だってほら、大学入ってから全然うちに来ないし。
もうそんな段階は過ぎたの。みんながいたら落ち着いて二人きりになれないもん。だからいつも彼の部屋で会ってるだけなんだもん。
そういう生々しいこと言われても弟としてはかなり微妙なんだけど。
They're so chill about it too. They're so funny.
本読んでるんだから話しかけないで。
父さんと母さん待たせてるんじゃ。姉ちゃん。はあ、どうすんだよ。これから家族揃って飯食うのに喧嘩はやめようぜ。姉ちゃんだってひどいこと言ったろ。おあいこじゃん。わかったって。小木曽家は何事においても長女優先っていううちの家訓を忘れてた俺が悪いんだよな。あ、いや、今のもネタだから。
Poor Takahiro, he's just talking to himself now.
カズさん。
あ
I reflexively grab my cell phone and peek at the display and see a name that I haven't seen in a while.
鳴ってるよ。
My cell phone's been ringing for a while. Of course, I know that. But forget about my hands. I can't even move a single muscle in my body. All I can hear is my pounding heart, like ringing in my ears. My forehead, back, and armpits are all scorching hot. Countless beads of cold sweat burst forth in an attempt to cool them.
早く取ったら。
As I finally regain control of my fingers, I move them only a few millimeters, and once again do an awful thing to her.
悪かったな。勉強中なのに。携帯の電源を落としてなかった。
Haruki, come on.
私のせいにされても困るんだけどな。
Still, the awfulness of my action is clear enough that even this person so close to dozing off right in front of me has noticed it. And she's gone out of her way to imply just how deplorable I'm being. I mean, I wouldn't call it deplorable, you're just being socially weird.
もしかして私に隠したい？そのくらいのスケベ心は持ってる？
そんなんじゃない。
そんな暗い顔すんな。慰めたくなっちゃうぞ。
ごめん。
留守番電話メッセージを受け取りました。ご利用ありがとうございました。
Aw, Setsuna.
姉ちゃん。姉ちゃんってばさ。
何？
ほら、買ってきたぞ。海洋グラフ。
ありがとう。いくらだった？
3000円。
そうなんだ。はい。それじゃあこれちゃだ。どうしたの？お金いらないの？
こんなペライ雑誌が3000円もするかよ。300円だよ、10分の1。普通に払おうとすんなよ。
Takahiro, trying to pull a sly one.
そうなんだ。
どうしたんだよ姉ちゃん。さっきからなんか変だぞ。
そんなこと。
そんなにすごい記事載ってたの？なあ、どれだよ。ちょっと見ていい？
ダメ！
びっくりした。
ダメ見ちゃダメ。だって 私が最初に伝えたいのは。ごめん、急に怒鳴ったりして。でもその
So awkward. Like, just the merest mention of their past makes every single one of, well, you know, Haruki and Setsuna just shut down entirely and do these crazy things like yelling at your younger brother because he tried to touch a magazine. Like, they need help. This is just too much.
まあいいや。とりあえず行こうぜ。二人ともいい加減待ちくたびれてんだろ。
そうだね。もう10分も遅刻してる。
それじゃちょっと急ぐぞ姉ちゃん。
うん。今日だけは逃げないで。
1件のメッセージを受け取っています。1件目、12月1日午後7時59分。
こんばんは、せつなです。忙しいところに電話してしまってごめんなさい。けどどうしても今日中にお話がしたくて。春樹くん、今週の火曜グラフ見た？もし見てなかったら絶対に目を通してください。そしてもしよかったら連絡をください。今日なら何時でもいい。ずっと起きてるから。朝方だって平気だから。だから本当に時間があったらで、もしよかったらでいいんだけど、声を聞かせてください。
Oh, Setsuna. What a sad thing to have to say to somebody. Like, seriously. By the time I looked at my cell phone again, it was already 3 a.m. I'd taken Izumi to the station, stopped by a convenience store, came back to my apartment, studied a little for tomorrow, took a shower, and as I finally slumped onto my bed, I realized it was already this late. No, I was actually fully aware of that. I had more than enough time to listen to a simple voicemail and give her a reply the entire time. Speaking of which, before we parted ways at the station, Izumi told me to properly give the person from earlier a call back, to which I responded with silence.
海洋グラフ。
There's no way Setsuna would know that I've figured out what she wanted to talk about just from hearing the magazine's name. Neither would she know that I work part-time at Kaiosha, nor that I helped out with this week's issue. We no longer share these little things in our lives that any friend or lover should know about with each other. That's why I've put this message from Setsuna, one that I hadn't received in a while, a very long while, on repeat. Her voice, vibrant as ever, seeps into my body and sends me into a daze both ecstatic and painful. But in a corner of my mind, I'm fully aware that things can't go on like this. That's why I have to respond to her request. And we're gonna go ahead and save here. Always recommend if you get to one of these questions to make a new save state so you can continue on from the next time. We're just gonna send her a text for now. I read Kyograph. Toma's amazing, isn't she? Setsuna wants to talk to me about Kazusa's brilliant success overseas. I already thought she was beyond our grasp before, but I never thought she'd be where she is now. But I can't bear to listen to Setsuna talk about a topic that will only end up reopening both of our old wounds, the more we share in our joy from it. Well, considering her talent, it only seems natural. It'd be great if she could use this opportunity to achieve even more amazing things. so I'll at least send her a text. This way, regardless of whether the message is completely banal or whether it has emotions passionately poured into it, only the most literal meaning of its words will reach the recipient. Nothing beyond the raw words, such as the tone of my voice or the emotions as I speak, will make it through. And that is exactly why Setsuna was saying, please let me hear your voice, because you are always constantly lying to her. And it's much easier to at least understand that you're lying with a spoken conversation. Haruki is just running away and running away. And I'll also be able to take in Setsuna's words without having to feel the emotions behind them. Thanks for letting me know about the great news, Setsuna. Good night, then. Immediately after sending my one-way text, I turn off the lights and pull my blanket over my head. I'm running away from Setsuna's plea to hear my voice. I'm running away from Kazusa's efforts and hard work. I'm twisting the memories I have back from high school, running away from the truth of what things have become now. I haven't been able to take even a single step forward ever since I enrolled in university. As a result, I've also caused Setsuna to come to a standstill.
ごめん、刹那。
Once we graduate, once we go out into the world, once our surroundings change, once our relationships change, will I, one day, from the bottom of my heart, be able to forgive myself? Well, that is a good question, Haruki. It's great, isn't it? Kazusa has finally had her dream realized. Or maybe Kazusa never thought of that as her dream? I still think about it sometimes. It makes me wonder if this is what Kazusa really wanted, or something like that. But I guess it's not fair for me to be saying that, is it? That's why the only thing I can do now is pray for her. I hope that Kazusa's truly happy about winning her prize. I hope that she's truly wishing for success as a pianist. Thank you for your text. I was really happy to read it. Good night. Something else to keep in mind, especially given that this game takes place in the past a little bit, is that in Japan, text messages are not free. They usually charge per message, and they're very uncommon, at least these days. So the reason they're sending such crazy long-winded texts is to save on money. It's not common to send short texts.
え？
だから今週発売の海洋グラフ、北原にも手伝ってもらったでしょ?
It's been 2 days. A small article that was meant to only stay between us. Something that's really only meant to be discussed within our little circle.
このページの子がかなり反響大きくてね。隔月間の音楽誌の方で記事作ることになったのよ。
ああ、こりゃ反響あるわ。一発で目引くもんな。
きれい。ツヤツヤの黒髪ロングに黒いドレスのハマってること。これで20歳そこそこって嫌になるな。
それだけじゃないぞ。話題性も抜群だ。こりゃクラシック界で久々に来たかな。
Before I knew it, the topic had already extended slightly beyond our circle, due to it being quite newsworthy for its targeted audience.
アンサンブルの編集長がこの子の母親、東間陽子と親しいらしくて、あっさり取材許可も下りたみたい。
Of course it's Toma Yoko. Why would it be anything but anyone but? Got permission for an interview.
東間陽子って俺子供の頃テレビで見たことありますよ。一時は日本を代表するピアニストだったからな。ま、今はずっとヨーロッパで活動してるから国内じゃ昔ほど有名じゃないけど
国際的な評価は昔とは比べ物にならないぞ。今やどこの国でもチケットが売れる数少ない日本人だ。
The lady who invited me into her home 3 years ago served me what was practically sugared water and chatted so vibrantly about the school festival with me. Even within such typical conversation, the praise that she gets really is something else.
その子が国際コンクールで入賞。しかもこのビジュアルとあっちゃ、そりゃ周りが放っておきませんよね。
That's the thing about famous people, though. If you know them on a personal level, you're like, they're just a person. But people who know them only as their fame have a completely different idea about it.
そうなんですか。
What are these people saying? How could they sing Kazusa's praises like this while knowing nothing about her other than what's written in this article? She's just a student studying abroad who just happened to produce some results, and who just happens to be the daughter of someone pretty famous. Okay, Haruki, that's rude. Like, you're totally downplaying all of her efforts just because you're kind of stuck in your own slump. And she just happens to be somewhat of a nice woman.
あっちの雑誌、本来ならヘンプロにグロスで発注してるんだけど、今回のは急遽決まった企画だし、元ネタ拾ってきたのが私だし。
要するにまた他の編集部の仕事を引き受けてきたと。
ほんと、北原くんのこと叱れないですよね。上司が編集部またぎのプロなんだもん。ちゃんと両編集長には許可もらってる。それに隔月間の締め切りなんて余裕だし。
そう言って地獄を見るけど、それでもなんとかするのがこいつなんだよな。
How did it end up like this?
そんなわけで北原、あんたには引き続きこっちの記事を担当してもらう。
And of course, Haruki's gonna be in charge of it. I mean, why who else? Who else but him? Mari-san's words strike me hard from two opposite directions.
担当してもらうって、だって。
バイトだぞ、北原。
Leave me in charge of the article means I'll need to take care of both the information gathering and the article writing myself. Or at least, that's what I think. That's way different from my usual responsibilities of making copies, buying things, getting food, picking up manuscripts, fixing layouts, quality checking, and talking to the printing company. Though the latter half of that is already slightly beyond the responsibilities of a part-timer. There's a huge difference between my work and an actual employee's work where you're actually supposed to create something. I never thought a part-time student like myself would ever be given a chance like this.
異論は?
But if I take on this assignment, I'll need to thoroughly research the interviewee. That means I'll have to look into her history, talk to her acquaintances, and trace her footsteps. Can I really do something like that? Can I really dig up my memories of her again? Okay, but also to be fair, if someone else was given this job, they would immediately find out that Haruki knew her. And then they'd be like, oh, Haruki, tell us all about it. And I feel like that might be a little harder for him than just doing it himself. We're gonna go ahead again. Always recommend saving when you come to an option like this. Either option you end up clicking just is gonna end you to writing the article anyways, so let's go ahead and accept.
やります。ぜひやらせてください。
Even so, I suppose I have no choice but to move forward after all. Even if the means I'm using to achieve my goal would actually end up hindering said goal, it's a signpost that's bringing me closer to my future. I'm sure of it.
それじゃあ早速向こうの編集長のところに行くわよ。ついてきなさい、北原。
ってちょっと待ってくださいよ、マリさん。俺だってそういう仕事やりたいですよ。ここにいると浜田さんのパシリばっかなんだもん。
Poor Matsuoka.
そりゃパシリの腕の差だろ。 北原は買い出し行って1時間帰ってこないなんてこと一度もなかったぞ。
え？いや頼まれたコーヒーが実は千葉と埼玉限定で。そっか。じゃあ俺が何度も見かけたコンビニで立ち読み中のお前は幻覚だったんだ。何しろ千葉まで遠征してるんじゃな。
Oh, jeez.
木崎さん裏切り者。
そういう地道な積み重ねが肝心なところで効いてくるんだよね。
まあそれもあるけど、実は北原に任せる理由はもう一つあるの。
Alright, so before Mari-san gets into the thick of things, we're gonna stop there. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode of White Album 2 Closing Chapter. Be back at you with more in the future. Until then, take care.